Hello, I'm Marco Flagg from Desert Star Systems, and in this informal video I want to show you how to build a release bag for ropeless fishing. Now these bags come in many shapes and sizes. It just depends what your fishery needs. This particular version here we built for the California Dungeness crab fishery, where they like to use 3/8 of an inch polysteel rope, and we have 50 fathoms of that in here, and then we have 2 hard floats topping it off. So I want to go over some of the features of the bag, what you need to watch out for as you put it together. Remember that any snag that can happen will eventually happen, so your goal is to minimize the potential for snags. Starting out, again, 50 fathoms of rope we have here, and we use hard floats, of course. You cannot use soft floats because this bag will live on the sea floor and soft floats would compress. The bottom of the rope comes out of here, and we call this the stub rope. You see that here? It attaches, the end of the stub rope here attaches to your trap. And the idea here is that the bag floats above the sea floor. How long to make it? Well, for ease of grappling, make it as long as possible, but for whale safety you need to keep it short, generally to no more than 1 whale length of any animal that might get entangled in it in your area. We also notice that down here we have this yellow rope, and notice, by the way, there are never any knots. It's always spliced, no knots in the system here. And this rope secures the bag. Once the buoys come out and all the rope comes out, there's nothing, no rope left in the bag. And so by clipping this short rope here to your vertical rope, you will not lose the bag. Moving on to some other features here. Notice a small zip tie here on the end of the stub rope where it goes into the bag. This is a breakaway zip tie. It will just break away once the rope comes out, like this. But before that, it will keep the rope here steady so it doesn't, say, float out and go over the bag. Notice how the bag is tightly packed with rope, and then the floats on top, and the floats are at the very top. If the mesh were to go over the floats, it could cold set in that position, and even upon release the floats may not come out. So that's another thing to watch out for. Let's take a look at the routing of the release cord. We start here at the acoustic release, specifically in that slot under the lever here. There is a loop spliced into the release cord. Again, no knots. It goes through this portion of the cage so that the pull is always straight on the mechanism. Then it goes around a guide ring, around the retainer, and to a tensioning bungee cord. Once the lever opens up, the tensioning bungee cord will pull the rope out through here, and of course the flotation power of the floats themselves will open up the retainer. You would want to go for maximum tensioning here, maximum throw I should say, and this one right now actually isn't so good. It should be more sitting like here, you know, so that there's more throw to get this rope here, this cord, to clear. Moving on to some other aspects, you will see that there's a PVC U-frame in the bag. It is there to help the bag keep its shape, and this mesh here, sometimes called oyster mesh, is put together in such a way that the seam is along the side, not somewhere, say, here in the center. Again, the idea being to keep any catches here at the end of the webbing away from the rope as much as can be done. In general, use a zip tie about every 2 inches would be nice. You have sometimes a little bit less. Notice how there are zip ties that hold the bag together, and then other ones that go around the pipe and secure the pipe to the mesh here. Well, the bag of course is tightly packed. That is very important. You don't want to have a loose pack in there. And do not coil the rope into the bag. Rather, you want to use just a random feed from your winch typically, so that you don't get any tension into your rope, and so that you don't develop any hockles in your rope that would then, cause another snag. Talking about hockles, if you have a new coil of rope, you gotta lay it out all the way first and untension it. You'll probably be twisting it 500 times before you're done, but that's necessary. You need to have a nice, clean, flat rope to minimize the potential for snags. Looking at the bottom here, bottom view now, we again see a number of zip ties here, both holding the bottom of the bag together. So you build the bag first and then you put the U-frame into it, and then of course other zip ties going around the U-frame as well. When I look at the length of this here, this rope that secures your bag to your vertical rope, notice how I have a little bit of slack in this rope when I pull this tight, and that will assure that the bag rides nice and upright in the water column. It doesn't get pulled to the side as would be the case if I have a short attachment here. You wouldn't want that. Well, that about explains the design of this rope. We have a lot more information. You can find a document that gives you some more details. There's also a video that shows how Australian offshore fishers build those bags with up to 200 fathoms of rope. So there's a lot of resources for you. It's up to you to experiment, get it to work better and better and better. Whenever you have a snag, look at it as you're pulling your system out of the water, typically then by grappling, and see, what went wrong here, and try to improve that. It will lead you to some small changes, like notice here I actually used 3 zip ties to hold this guide ring, because we experienced once the guide ring coming loose by just breaking out of this mesh. No more tension in the release cord, and that's of course a recipe for a snag. So, experiment, and before long you should have some quite good results as far as reducing any number of any failures of the buoys to surface. If you're good at it, aim for no more than 1 snag in every 50 release cycles. Alright, have a good day.